Alright, welcome back. In the previous video, we got our character's gun attached properly to his hand, so he's all animated and looking good. And now we want to animate the enemy character. Now, here's a quick spoiler. This is going to be a very, very quick and easy process because we're going to reuse some of the work we've already done. We could create a brand new blend space for our enemy character, a brand new enemy anim blueprint specifically for him, and we could assign that exactly the way we did with the hero. What we're going to do instead is we are going to make a new blend space to drive between walking and standing at idle. But for our enemy, we're just going to reuse the existing animation blueprint that we already used on the hero, which is why we named it Character Animation Blueprint and not Hero Animation Blueprint. So let's go over to our Animation Assets folder. And the first thing we want is to create our blend space. Now, our enemy character is always going to turn toward the player. He's always rotated such that he's basically moving forward, and we can see that here. No matter what's going on, these guys are always rotating toward the player, so we don't have to worry about direction. What that means is, in terms of a blend space, if you right-click and go to create another blend space, there is a blend space 1D that we could create, which would be just fine because all we need is speed. However, we're not going to use that, and you'll see why here in just a moment. For now, just go with me. So we'll create a brand new blend space, and it's going to just a regular one, not a 1D, but a regular blend space. We're going to base that off of the UE4 mannequin skeleton, just as we did before, and we'll call this the enemy blend space, or enemy blend, which is fine. And we'll hit Control S and open this up. Now this is still going to have the gun attached to it. Remember, that's just a preview asset, so at any point you can right click on the gun socket and choose Remove All Attached Assets. So that takes away all those preview assets. It's still going to be attached in the game because we did that in Blueprint, but it just gets rid of that preview. Okay, so now let's set up the parameters for this blend space. First off, we have our X-axis label. We might as well go ahead and set it up the same way, so let's call it direction. Let's give it the same range of -180 to +180. Let's give it a Y-axis label of speed, and we're going to give this a slightly different range. This will go between 0 and actually 100 will probably be just fine. That'll be okay. Because once we make it up to 100 centimeters per second and above, we want him to look like he's walking, so that should be all right. So let's go ahead and apply those changes. It's always super important to do that. But the blend space itself is going to be really different because we only have two animations. We have idle and we have walk. And all we really care about is speed. So we could, if you wanted to, you could drag idle to the center of the graph. And if it helps make things a little clearer, by all means, go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and drag an idle at the very bottom and then a walk at the very top. But no matter what direction the character thinks it's going, we want to always just be walking. So we're going to put walk in the upper corners, both of the upper corners. Whoop. And he's not walking. And that's because we are not playing. So if we hit play, then things seem to work better. And yes, again, we know this animation has a little bit of a pop to it. That's okay. It's just a temporary animation anyway. Now let's take enemy idle and we're going to put that down in the lower corners just for consistency. We don't really need to do that, but now we can test it. No matter what direction we are moving, we're always going to look like we're rotating forward. That's fine for this character because he's always just going to be moving forward. So we can save this. And if at this point you're thinking in the back of your head, why didn't we just use a blend space 1D? Now I'm going to explain it to you. We can now take our character NMBP that we created earlier, right-click on it, and choose Create Child Blueprint Class. So this will descend or inherit from character NMBP and have all of the same properties, all of the same animations, and we're going to call it Enemy NMBP. So let's hit Control S, and then we'll double-click to open this up. And take a look here. We have the Asset Override Editor open by default. So now we can override animation assets within this animation blueprint. So let's do that. Let's expand locomotion, and there is our blend space right there. So it's using the hero blend. Well, because we made a two-dimensional blend space for the enemy, it's the same type of blend space. So now it's completely compatible with what we had here. So now check it out. We can just choose the enemy blend, recompile, and now we're done. That's it. We've already set up the enemy's animation blueprint. We can change the speed, and as it makes it to 100, he goes into a walk. That's it. That's all we needed to do. So compile, save, close. We can go over to our enemy character. So let's go under blueprints, and let's open up the enemy character. We'll select his mesh, and then under that anim blueprint generated class property, right here, we can set this to the enemy animBP. Compile and save. And now if we play, we're already done. They're already walking. They're actually walking a little too quick because you can see their feet sliding, so we'll probably want to slow them down just a little bit. Or we could speed up the walk a little as well. In fact, let's do that. So let's go into, let's hit escape. Let's open up our animation blueprint. So let's go, actually, let's go under animation assets, and let's find enemy walk right here. And if we take a look, there's a rate scale, so we can push this up to say like, well, I don't know, 1.5? Well, that's too fast. Let's do like 1.2. That really makes that pop really present, but again, that's okay. This is just for demo purposes. So now if we play, there you go. Now they're walking just a little bit faster. Their feet aren't really sliding as much, and they really have this kind of dedicated march. But you see, in this way, it was very easy for us to reuse some of our existing work. Now, also, this video was like super short. We're technically already done, but I'm going to do something really quick because it's been driving me crazy for the last few videos, and I've just been ignoring it. But I'm going to take the enemy color and change it slightly. It's just a little bit too overdriven. So we're going to desaturate that by just a bit. And compile, and another pink. I don't really, I mean, it's pretty funny for them to be pink. You know what? I'm just going to change their color entirely. Let's make the bad guys orange. Orange is a great color. There we are. Pick just the right color. There we go. This is kind of what I was looking for, right? It's just a little bit more of a desaturated red. Something that wasn't quite so brutal on the eyes in our scene. So something kind of like that. And compile and save. And now if we play, there we go. Cool. So we've now animated both our hero and our enemy. However, there is one last thing you notice. Our enemies are just plinking out of existence. So we need to set up the same behavior that we set up on our hero and give them a little bit more time to play a death animation. I actually forgot to do that. Well, I guess if the video's over, I haven't forgotten yet, have I? So let's go into our event graph for our enemy character. And right here after is dead, we can do the same thing we did before. We can do a delay of 3 seconds. And this is going to be kind of funny, so I'm going to show you what happens if you just play this. Watch. So if we kill an enemy, look at this. He falls down and he keeps chasing us for like 3 seconds until he's destroyed. They just keep sliding after us. And that's because, technically, they're still chasing us down. So let's fix that. There's a special node in order to do this. And it is called detach from controller pending destroy. So what this does, I mean, the name is really verbose, right? This will detach our enemy character from its AI controller, knowing that we're going to be destroying it here in just a moment. So then the AI controller will no longer be telling the enemy to chase us. So what we should see is the character just falls down, which is great. That's exactly what we want. Now there's still a problem here, but it's a really subtle problem. You'll have to play a lot to test it out. And to make it a little easier to show off, I'm going to grab my spawn volume real quick and tell it to only spawn one enemy at a time. So I should only have the one. Now if I kill him, I still get hung up on him. I don't know if you can really feel that in the video, but there's still a collision surface there. So I knock him down and try to run into him, and I'm bumping into something right there. So let's do this. Let's say that as soon as the enemy character dies, we're going to change his capsule component's collision. So let's drag this out, drag a reference out to it, and then let's drag a wire off this and just say collision and see what we have. Well, we're going to change the response to a channel. So the way collisions work, if we actually take a look at the capsule component and look under collision, we have all kinds of different channels we can set up. We can say, like here, if I expand collision presets, we can say in response to static objects we want to overlap or block, or do want to overlap and block pawns, etc. and so forth. So we're going to do a couple of things here. We're going to dynamically change the collision behavior the moment the enemy dies. So let's take the its response to world dynamic, which will be things like our lasers, and have it ignore those. And then let's do another reference. Or we could just do another reference, or we could do like a reroute node. It's the same thing, whichever way you want to go. And let's set collision. And do set collision response to channel. Once again, we're going to do the same thing twice. And this time, we're going to take all of our responses to pawns, like the player, and set that to ignore as well. So we should no longer be hitting lasers. We should no longer be hitting the player. And we'll clean that up with some reroutes. But when is this going to happen? Well, let's have this happen right before we detach from the controller, which will seem pretty instantaneous between the two. So we'll plug that in and plug that in, and let's clean up our graph a little bit. We'll have everything going in a nice, clean, straight line. And there we go. So let's compile, save, and play. And so now we can shoot our enemy and run right through him. That's also going to be really useful, where if we get these guys grouped up, our lasers won't stop on that collision. We can start shooting whatever enemy was right behind him. Awesome. So the video did end up going a little bit longer than I thought, but now we've got our enemies animating. We've got our collisions set up properly when they die. Really, honestly, at this point, the game, as far as just prototyping something out and getting it playable, the game is essentially done. But we are going to do one last thing to really finalize it, and we're going to create a UI for it, a very simple UI using UMG, which is what we'll tackle in the next video. So thanks very much for joining us.